This series contains horror elements. Viewer's discretion is advised. Bravery, that noble and revered trait, often stands as a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. And yet, paradoxically, there are times when this very bravery can become a double-edged sword, a guiding light that inevitably leads one further into the abyss. In tonight's story, in the pursuit of valor, individuals may find themselves consumed by the very shadows they sought to spell. Like for tonight's main character, who shared that fate while she's being hunted down by a legendary but oftenly real malevolent spirit that consumes within the darkness of the forest. I call this tale the Wendigo. In the heart of a vast snow-covered wilderness, a lone adventurer named Sarah had embarked on her daily walk around the woods that is near the unforgiving forest of North Woods. She always goes for a walk every single morning, and every single week, and every single month, ever since he moved in the countryside. But, there was another motive to why she moved. She had heard whispers of the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit known for devouring the souls of those who ventured too deep into its domain. And this is no myth or legend, because there have been evidence throughout the years of corpses that have been ripped to shreds as a warning to never enter the North Woods. But Sarah was determined to prove her bravery and disregard the ominous warnings from not only her new neighbors in the countryside town she was staying at, but even her own brother before she moved. So, she decided to enter the North Woods. Days have passed, and the forest grew more foreboding with every step she took. The biting cold pierced her bones, and eerie shadows danced among the trees. She set up a camp one frigid evening, determined to rest before continuing her journey through the North Woods. As she huddled around the flickering campfire for warmth, the wind howled mournfully through the trees. The unsettling silence of the woods was occasionally broken by distant, unnatural sounds of animals howling in the moon. But Sarah brushed off her unease, believing it to be the product of her own imagination. Night fell. The moon cast an eerie glow over the snow-covered landscape. It was then that she heard something ruffling in the trees. Branches breaking. And heavy footsteps coming closer and closer and closer where she set up her campsite. And then she finally heard it. An eerie guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the depths of the forest. Her heart pounded in her chest as she scanned the dark wilderness, unable to discern any source of the sound. Then she quickly grabbed her flashlight and pointed right behind her. And then from the shadows emerged the Wendigo, carrying a magnet. Its skeletal frame was covered with fur from an animal. Fur like it's an animal itself. And tattered with frost-covered rags. Its hollow eyes gleamed with malevolence, and its grotesque maw dripped with icicles and dried up blood from the creature's previous victims, which are combined of animal and human. Sarah's fear was palpable, but she refused to surrender to terror. She drew her hunting knife that her father once bought her a long time ago before he decided to venture into the North Woods years ago when she was little, and brandished it in front of her, hoping to fend off the monstrous creature. The Wendigo's wail of despair filled the air, causing Sarah to tremble, but she stood her ground like a warrior. For hours they faced each other in a chilling standoff. The Wendigo suckled her, taunting her with its unearthly cries. Sarah's fingers grew numb from the cold, and exhaustion crept over her. But she couldn't give in to the Wendigo's torment. With a sudden burst of frenzied aggression, the Wendigo lunged at her with speed. Sarah slashed at it with her knife, cutting deep into its icy flesh. The creature screeched in agony, but retreated into the darkness. Relieved, Sarah thought she had won the battle, but that would be her downfall, as the Wendigo's malevolence was not so easily defeated. It suddenly returned with a vengeance, its monstrous form now particularly melded with the shadows themselves. As it lunged at her once more, its clawed hands pierced her heart, her chest. snuffed out her life with a savage finality, whilst it's grabbing, the creature grabbing her beating heart. As her eyes widened in terror, as the Wendigo devoured her very soul, leaving her lifeless body to crumble in the snow. As she was taking her last breath, the Wendigo starts to eat and devour her beating heart, with blood glistening out of her heart, like a water balloon being thrown into a victim. And then the Wendigo's hunger started. And it was time to eat. The Wendigo starts to massacre her lifeless body, ripping her limbs, her arms, legs apart, devouring the inside of her flesh, the muscles, and chowing down her bones. She and the Wendigo decided to rip her head, her spine out of her body, and ripping her head clean off her body, devouring half her face within. As the Wendigo's hunger was filled, it growled a mighty, disturbing, and terrifying howl of the night. The hunt was over. In the end, Sarah's bravery had been her downfall. Her fate severed as a chilling reminder that in the depths of the North Woods, where the Wendigo roamed, the darkness could consume even the bravest of souls, leaving nothing but a haunting, twisted tale of terror. So, if you think about entering a forest one day that has warnings or even stories about it, be forewarned. Maybe that is the case, because you never know what lies within that forest. But one thing is for sure. Once you step in to the forest, the hunt will begin anew. Good luck. And run. Run.